I want to talk about time as a resource. I want you to understand that time is a very important resource. If you manage time properly, very well, you will have to go far. You have to run ahead of time. Run as fast as time. That's when you can make a difference in life. If time runs faster than you will be left behind. Time is very, very useful. It is time that makes a difference between one person and another. How do you use your time? How do you spend your time? If we have 24 hours a day, we must ensure that at least we utilize 3/4 of the time we are given in work. We have to use time in doing productive activities. But if we use our time for nothing, if we waste our time, I tell you, we are going to regret tomorrow. We will start blaming who the government, who it is my parents, who it, this one. These are excuses. You have time as a resource. Use it. It is at your disposal to use it. If you spare time, you don't use it, it will just pass, it will go. But if you use it, you will be productive. Time is a very, very important economic resource. Without time, nothing will happen. Wake up earlier as a bird does. You know, we have a saying that says, the earlier bird catches the worm, but the late one will miss the worm because it will have been picked by the earliest bird. If we slow down in using the time that we have at our disposal, we will not have any activity to do. Use time to produce commodities. Use time to practice economic activities. Use time economically. Invest in time. If we use the time that we have maximally, we get high returns. Those people who have developed actually use their time properly. They work for long hours. As you work for long hours, you will have to improve your standard of living. But if we waste time, there is nothing that we will do. We will have wasted the whole day, nothing economical we have done. And then we shall not have any harvest. We can use time in practicing a project. You can start a small project in agriculture. if you have a small farm. If you don't have, you can invest your time in doing business. Doing business does not mean you must have a lot of money, hundreds of thousands, to start a business. A business can be started with as little as 200 shillings or 500 shillings or 1,000 or 2,000. You will start from the bottom, then you rise upwards. That's what we call bottom up. There is no money that is little. It depends on how you use it, where you invest it, and how patient you are, how committed you are with your money. You can have hundreds of thousands, millions, but if you invested them wrongly, if you don't plan properly how to use it, it will be a waste. That's why I say, if we were able to use the time that we have, we can be able to be productive. But if we are idle, we don't use our time, we are lying there waiting for somebody somewhere to help us, waiting for the government to help us, waiting for white-collar job, you may end up regretting in your life. For myself, I regret that I did not know that time is very important resource. I came to realize when it was too late that if I use my time well, the time will reward me. Therefore, I have to wake up very early, go and practice any activity that gives me at least a shilling or two. If we don't do that, you can open a small business, a grocery, you can sell vegetables, tomatoes, you can make bricks, you can sell firewood, you can sell eggs, sambusa, you can sell mandazi, anything. And that one, if you sell anything, at the end of the day, you are going to collect money from people. And this money will increase day by day. It will never be the same. The problem with our youth is that most of the time is wasted on phone, scrolling the screen, or just walking around. By the time they are old enough to think about their families, you'll find them they have nothing. If you used to your youthful stage to do any economic activity, by the time you are old enough, you will find that you have a lot of money. Now, my advice is that work for longer hours, get higher returns. Work for less hours, low returns. Poverty is just in the mind. There is no person who is poor. We are poor because we think that we are poor. Actually, we are not poor because we have time. We have other resources like land. We have many opportunities. We have business. We can practice any of the activities that you think of and make money. So let's not waste the time that we have. Time is the very important than other resources. Even if you had other resources, without time, nothing could have happened. So first, the foremost resource is time. And how do you manage your time? If you don't manage your time properly, you'll cry, oh, the government has refused to employ me. Oh, the government is increasing this or that. Oh, the tax is higher. Oh, price of unga is high. Oh, petrol. That is business for other people. The government actually must tax its citizens to get the necessary revenues to do the investment, to do the roads, education, health, and other things, security, salaries, infrastructure. These things needs money, and the government needs this money from its people to enable it to provide the necessary needs for its citizens. So for us to get, for the government to get these taxes, people must engage in activities that gives them money. If you see the government is poor, it cannot be able to run its projects. That means it is people, it's not, its population is not productive. So we want the government to borrow from donor communities like the US, China, Britain, France, and the developed countries. You know, those developed countries have people also who are working day and night to improve their economy. That is the money we are depending on. So when we get those monies, we have to pay back with high interest rates. And we will continue repaying the loans until we have nothing to run our economies. That is the situation where our country is. So let's be productive. Let us mind about how we can use time, how we can create wealth for yourself, for your family, and for the country at large. If our people are poor, that means the government is also poor, which means that the prices have to rise because people are not working. If we are not involved in economic activities like farming, we will not get enough food. If we don't have enough food or surplus, it means that we have to import food. And importing means we have to spend the money. And the money has to come from the people. Therefore, the people have to be taxed to buy the necessary commodities that are needed in our country. If you don't have that money, you have to borrow. You go for IMF and the World Bank. You borrow money to come and pay salaries and buy food. There is nothing left for development. That means we are paying money for something that is not productive, and we continue to be poor. So what is important here is that every one of us should start to think how to maximize the use of time You have to run ahead of time. If time is ahead of you, then it means that you will not meet some of your needs. If you are ahead of time, that means you are managing your time properly. You are productive.